Welcome back to Grand Theft Auto Online. It's been a while since I've done a video on this game, but we're back with one very good reason. And we're also in a public lobby, which probably isn't a good idea. But if we pull up the phone over here, we go over to internet, we go over to a very specific car manufacturer. I think it's Legendary over here. We should see that somewhere there should be an interesting car. And here it is. This is the Kreiger. It is currently free from now all the way through until I believe around Thursday afternoon UK time. So about to go and do the only logical thing, buy one and take a look at it. The only question is, do I have a free garage? In the meantime, while we wait for that car to be delivered, let's go ahead and jump over here and get our daily spin done. Now, as you can see, up for grabs this week is what looks like a Jaguar XJ220, so let's try and see if we can win it. Right, here we go. Let's go ahead, give the big old wheel a big old spin and see if we get the car. I doubt it, but, well, got to be a little hopeful. But this time around, we've just got chips, and sadly, they're not the edible kind either. In the meantime, though, back outside of the casino, we're going to go ahead, head over to text because we've got a text that we've been waiting for. Our car is ready to be picked up. And sometime later, here it is, bright blue Kreiger, also known as the Mercedes AMG Project 1 or just the AMG 1. Right, let's go and take this thing for a little bit of a drive and we'll take a listen to how it sounds stock as well. Right, I found a little car park, so let's go ahead and take a listen to this thing real quick. Not bad for a car in GTA. Right, let's go chuck some upgrades to this thing and see what we can do. Oh, before we go anywhere, I mean, just look at this thing. Ignore the scratches, but just look at this thing. Now, the next question is, it's been a while since I played this game, so can I remember where I'm going? The answer to that is probably not. Right, here we are, Los Santos Customs. Let's go ahead and drive in and have some fun with this thing.
What miracle did you want me to perform?
Many, please. That'd be nice. So here we are. We have got ourselves the Kreiger. Let's go ahead and chuck some armor on it because at the end of the day we are in a public session. Let's also go ahead and do the brakes and do all the obvious stuff first. As for engine, we can go with engine upgrades all the way up to level 4. And then it gets to the fun part, a different exhaust, because a fun fact, if you've not noticed already, they are all the way up at the top of the car. So we can go from stock all the way to a little bit of, I guess, titanium tipped exhaust, which move it down to here. We do have the option for a dual exhaust as well. On top of that, we have the option for some dual rounded exhaust. We can also have them titanium tipped, or we can go for quad exhaust as well. But I've got to say, I kind of like where the stock ones are, so I might stick with those. Moving on from that, we go to the front of the car, to the hood or bonnet for us Brits. We've got ourselves a little bit of an option for a carbon hood there. We can go ahead and also have the primary hood, which kind of just smooths it out a bit compared to the stock one. We've also got the option to do that in carbon as well, or we can have the primary hood with a carbon vent, which I think we might do. Going over to the headlights, we can go ahead and throw on some xenons on those, and we can also go ahead and chuck on some neon kits too. So we're going to go ahead and go with all the way around. Let's see, what color do we think is going to pick this car best? I think we're going to pick the color of the car, and then we'll come back to the neons after. In the meantime though, you can go ahead and have a look at the liveries. We've got ourselves some black stripes here, which is what's on a extra special version of this vehicle, which I'll show you in a bit. We have the option to have white stripes as well, which to be honest, the blue and white kind of work well together. And of course, because this thing is based off the Mercedes AMG 1, which is in itself a German car, we have the option to have some Germany flags on there as well, the Germanic stripes. We've got the option to go ahead and have like a Louis Vuitton ripoff. And we also have ourselves a secondary version of that livery as well. We also have ourselves this one, which looks pretty cool, kind of very much race inspired. We have junk, which apparently is, well, definitely not this thing. This thing looks pretty cool. We also have ourselves an alternate version of that as well. So if you don't want the teal blue, you can go ahead and have a giant red instead. And then we move on from something very nicely done to something that makes this thing look like it's being chucked at by a paint bucket. And then moving on from that, we have the option to go grayscale if you want to, but I think we might just stick with the white stripes because I don't know why, it just suits the car so well. As for plate, we are going to go with, let's see, we're going to go yellow and black, and we're going to go with the classic tech plates. And then we go over to resprays, where we've got a lot of options for this thing. So we're going to jump straight to a classic. We've got blue there. We do have the option for a Saxon blue, which is not too bad. Dark blue as well, which isn't too bad. We have Galaxy blue too. Or if you want to have it in bright yellow orange, then you can do that too. Or if you want it to match the real life AMG one, you can go with this red too. But honestly, I like how it looks in the blue. But in the meantime, going over to secondary color, we have the options for that. So what is the secondary color of this thing? I guess we will never know. If you want, you can also go ahead and change the interior trim color of this as well. I think we are going to go with, let's go with this one. Totally knew which one that one was by looking at it. Yep, I'm professional. So moving on to the rest of the bodywork, we have an option to change the skirts on this thing to be the primary color of this thing, which I've got to say doesn't look too bad, but I think I prefer the stock. I don't know what it is, it's just something about carbon on this car, it looks so good. And then we get to the fun parts, the spoiler. We can go ahead and remove the fins, which makes this thing look even more like the MG1. We have the option for a carbon street spoiler, the primary street spoiler, which actually looks pretty good with the stripes, I can't lie. We have ourselves the option of a race spoiler in carbon too. We have the primary race spoiler, which is even wider than, pretty much wider than the car itself. From that we go on to the competition spoiler. We've got one in carbon and again in primary as well, with a little carbon accents on the edges, which does look good. We've got a carbon big wing, and it is a big wing indeed. And we also have ourselves that in a primary, and I can't get over the size of that wing, that is massive. Moving on from that, we have the option for a low mount spoiler, and we also have the option for a primary low mount spoiler as well. We have the carbon wide spoiler, and we have the primary wide spoiler too. Now, I can't lie, I don't usually go putting spoilers on cars like this because at some point it's just going to look ridiculous, but I've got to say that's not half bad, but I think we might just go with the fin remove. Moving further on, let's go ahead and shove in a race transmission because we are going to need it, and we're also going to go ahead and shove in a turbo too. And then we get to the fun part, the wheels. We're going to go ahead and I think we're going to go with high end because this is a very much high end car indeed, and see what we've got to throw on this thing. And I've got to say, I think I quite like these chromatic 2s, and because we've made them custom, we can also go ahead and make them custom painted too. So we're going to go with a frost white. As for tires, we're going to go ahead equip some custom tires, and we're going to go ahead and also make them bulletproof too. As for the windows, we've got the option for some light smoke, we've got the dark smoke as well, or we've got nothing, because let's face it, who needs to see outside anyway? And by the looks of things, that's it. Only 19 categories for this thing, but I think what I'm going to do is probably change the rims very, very quickly, because I feel like they don't quite work. Yes, despite what I said just now. Do I put T's on this thing? That will go on then. Right, with that sorted, let's roll out and have some fun with this thing. We do also have some white neons on this thing too, and somebody got very unhappy over there, so we're not going to go that way, we're going to go this way. Again, another reminder not to film in public. While we're here, by the way, if we go up to the edge of this little bit just here, you can see that is also the extra little version of the Kreiger that I was talking about. Right, there we go. Now we're in a little fresh session of our own, and we've got nobody else to deal with. Let's go ahead and take a proper look at this thing. I've got to say, it does look very nice indeed. Again, I think the blue and the stripes, I don't know why, but that combo just works. And if I remember rightly, there should be a button over here, which means I can do this. I'm not gonna lie, I pressed a button to open all the doors, it only opened 2, I was kind of hoping it would do the rest, but okay, that's fine. So now we've got this thing all sorted, done, dusted and upgraded, I think it's time we go race this thing. And as you all know, we've only got one track that we can go on. Okay, it's not one track, but it's our test track. So here is the stock Kreiger, so let's go ahead, jump into that first, and then we're going to go and get a custom one and see how the times compare. Right, here is our little test track. This is the race cutting corners. Let's go ahead and see how we can do, whether we can cut our corners. And remember, like we always do with this race, the first one around is just to get used to how this thing handles, and the second time is when we floor it. So away we go, and let's go and see just what we can do. If you saw a glitch, yeah, I saw it too. Don't know what happened, but it did. Right, let's go ahead and dive through here and try and avoid the... Never mind. Game glitched badly, as did my driving. So I guess, hey, at least we're keeping things in sync. Right, anyway, let's go ahead and keep on going and see what we can do for lap number 1 with the Kreiger. Right, on the brakes through here, avoid everything and get through the tunnel. There we go, that's better. Fun fact, last time we raced this track, we were looking at something which looked a bit like a Nissan Laurel. In fact, it's literally called the Laurel, so if you've not seen that video yet, go ahead and check that one out. Trust me, it's worth it. Right, let's go ahead and jump on now to lap number 2. Let's go and take this thing and see how we do. This is the flying lap. This is where our car and our skills need to shine. Right, let's try and see on the brakes, cut the corner, there we go, that's better, nice little racing line through there. Can we do it again? Nearly, just slightly off the side this time, but let's try and see if we can keep our streak going, see if we can do good. Is this a bad time for me to get an itch on the edge of my nose? Right, let's try and see if we can get through this corner as quickly as we can. There we go, a proper little racing line and a proper little ping off the edge of that. Well, it was all going so well, then it wasn't. Still, with that, across the line we go with the stock Kreiger with the first place, because we're the only ones there. We've got a time of 2 minutes 15, and we'll have a look at the best lap in just a minute. So as it turns out so far, the best lap of the stock car is a 1 minute 4.3, so that's the time we've got to beat. Right, here we are now with the not-so-stock Benefactor Kreiger, so let's go ahead and jump into the race and see if we can beat a 1 minute 4.3. Right, and hopefully any second we should see, there we go, that is our little ghost sign. Again, like we did last time, the first lap is a sightseeing lap, and lap number 2 is where we go full belt. Or rather it would be if my HDMI cables didn't keep breaking, so if anybody has some spare, please let me know. Or maybe a spare console, that would be good. Right, now back on to lap number 2. This thing is braking heavily. I think my console might be in tatters by the end of this video, but oh well, let's try and see what we can do, shall we? Again, 1 minute 4.3 is the time to beat. Let's try and see if we can do it. Or at the very least, see if we can get this lap done without me throwing this thing. Right, we've got a turn coming up. It's just let's try and see what we can do. I'm in interior view in the hopes that we should hopefully be okay coming up to the finish line, and any second we should see. There it is, across the line we go. We have somehow survived race number 2. I don't know how we've done it, but we have. Let's go ahead and see if we've beaten our best lap. Right, let's see. Have we done it? I'll be surprised. And apparently we have, with a 1 minute dead, or 1 minute 0.727. Even with this thing braking continuously, we've still beaten the stock Kreiger, which is pretty cool, by almost 4 seconds. So now we're back into GTA Online, thankfully in a private lobby, because the public one I started filming this video in ended up getting a little bit crazy. However though, that is the video on what is currently the completely free Benefactor Kreiger, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, I do have to say though, this was part of, I believe, one of GTA's little Halloween specials, and of course this thing is usually worth around 2 to 2.3 million in-game credits. Which, if you ask me, is nothing short of expensive. I mean, then again, it is GTA, so everything's expensive anyway, but still, come on. However though, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you want more GTA content, please do go ahead and let me know in the comments. And I know that was a terrible barrel roll, but I tried. And let me know as well if you're going to pick up one of these before the free event ends and these things go back to being ridiculously expensive. However though, like I say, thank you very much for watching. That is this video on the Kreiger. It's a very, very interesting car indeed. Now go ahead and see it all in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Thank you for watching. Tech out. See ya. Right, and now I'm off to go fly this thing.